My name is Unimportant, and I'll tell you why. There are countless known causes for divorce, but the fact is there remains a necessary condition for divorce that is present in all marriages, and that is the act of marriage itself. Hardly a revelation, I know. But what I've learned about how I came to be married is what I would like to explore. When I first told my parents that my girlfriend had become pregnant, the first thing my father said was, "A child is no reason to get married." I have no memory of more true words he had spoken to me, and I was more than 20 years his son. It was that single scarce parcel of wisdom that emboldened my instincts about this woman. For example, when my girlfriend had called to tell me she was pregnant, my first question to her was, "Are you sure it's mine?" To which she replied no, and told me it could have been at least one other's. This was both a relief and an obvious betrayal, one and the same. The paternity test settled the fact that I was indeed not shooting blanks. The fact that she later admitted that she knew the exact moment of conception sadly confused me for many ignorant years. It wasn't until much later that I did the math when I heard other stories and heard the term sperm jacking defined. But what I would later confuse for loyalty was a long, slow grind against my better judgment. I confused her devotion to me as true love rather than self-interest. I confused her newly found maturity with obvious necessity, and her decision to keep the child as devotion when it would have been better categorized as a bargaining chip to leverage resources from me for the rest of my life. Yet, nothing she ever did or could do would ever prepare me for the solitude I would feel from my inaction on the marriage front from my family, who was and still is deeply religious. Eventually, years down the line, I discovered my own father had reversed his position on what I should be doing with my life. He and I once fought memorably. While I was visiting and traveling for business, he said I needed to stop waiting around and do the right thing. Doing the right thing is a phrase that gets passed around in the military when what is necessary is also thoroughly unpleasant, even disadvantageous. I was viscerally negative in that discussion, and I turned it into an argument. I challenged him in a way he likely had never been challenged before. I challenged his decisions in life. While supremely sacrificial, they were his decisions. And if he didn't like them, it wasn't enough for me that I was a beneficiary of his sacrifice to make the same decisions he did, to forever change my life to total sacrifice. I didn't get a response from that, and decided to take one final swing that resided at the core of every relationship that goes on for too long. I asked him, "Did you love Mom more after you married her?" And I said it with anger in my voice. It didn't deserve a reply because it was obvious enough to be rhetorical that even though my father had sacrificed his life for his wife and children, he did not love her more, and certainly not the same. Maybe less, but at least differently. But that was the final bastion of reason to fall. I had no one to stop me from succumbing to the passive-aggressive pressure to do what society would have us believe is the right thing. At that point, the pressure was too great, and the alternative was moral exile, because there was no longer dissent within my tribe. They were unified in their disapproval. I didn't have an online community to turn to. I didn't have mentors who had understood the female nature. Absolutely no one was capable of empathizing with my situation, and I had no examples in my lived experience on which to rely. Even today, I receive judgment from people who say I got what I deserved, dispelling all agency from my ex. The passes women are handed when there is a man to be blamed are as numerous as there are problems women do not want. So while marriage is the cause of divorce, the cause of divorce goes beyond that. It is the willingness of others to allow men to submit themselves to group shame, legally binding wage slavery, and the myth of the good woman that emboldens society to blame the man for the decisions he is made to feel are necessary under the guise of doing the right thing. And that is why my name is unimportant. Like, comment, and subscribe for more about why my name is unimportant.